Oh, we're gonna have a vision again? Oh, no. Maybe he's having a vision. Or Shion's having a vision of what happened to him.
Behold the light that spreads before your eyes.
I don't think I'd recommend watching the Xenosaga anime.
Once symbolized
from what I've seen so far.
The very will of the human race. But what can be gleaned from the light we see today? The people of this world have cast away their will to create, drowning themselves instead in an endless cycle of consumption. What you see now is the deceitful light cast by their stagnant eyes.
The commander. But who's that with him?
The people you've encountered in your lifetime are not people at all. They are less than human, mere sacks of flesh and bone. Only upon the realization of self-will can a person truly be called a man. You chose to reject the false light, refused to succumb to their lies. That's why you never faltered, even after all the personality reconditioning.
The commander underwent personality reconditioning?
Long ago, man was forced to leave behind his homeland. This was brought about by the masses who extinguished the very light that drove their will. So how about it, Cherenkov? Let us rekindle the torch, so that human consciousness may once again be resurrected, for our sake and that of our God.
Happiness? Were those my feelings just now? No. It must have been the commander's feelings. Commander, what was it that you were searching for?
This looks like the beach where we saw Lao in Xenoblade X.
I never
Similar
really
vibes.
existed at all. 36 years ago. The year after the Zoar incident, which led up to the Milshin conflict.
There's a Zohar and there's a Zoar incident.
I was brought into this world as a weapon of warfare. It happened all the time back then. Killing was our whole reason for existence. The fortunate ones were those who could adapt to that way of life. Even luckier were those who died on the battlefield. But I was never granted that opportunity. Before I could find some significance to my own life, the war ended. And I was left behind while the world went on. I tried to adapt. But the language I spoke was so different from the rest of the world. I thought the entire world had rejected me. But the commander, it felt like he really needed me. I saw a future for myself in the commander. Or I wanted to, at least. But I had to rely on the drugs to communicate with the rest of the world. It was because I hadn't changed. After everything that happened, I hadn't changed at all. Now I finally understand. The world didn't reject me. I rejected the world. Shion, I like it here. I'm the only living thing that exists in this place. There's nothing else. No anger, no sadness, no happiness, not even a future. The only thing that's here is me. And that'll eventually fade away. It feels good. This is exactly what I've been searching for all this time. Shion, you'll eventually find yourself here too. I'm sure of it. It won't be much longer. I know. I can tell.
Also, this is very, very strong parallels to what happened to Lao. Lao was taken in by the life hold and transformed into a crazy beast. You kill him and then he wakes up on the beach that Al told us was like this between dimensions place that Lao went to when he died. And this was Commander Cherenkov that was absorbed by the Gnosis and turned into a crazy monster beast. And then after death, went to a beach that looked pretty much the same.
Where's Commander Cherenkov?
There's no way that's coincidental, right?
Shion.
Chaos. What just happened? Where is he? What have we done? Tell me.
Ziggy, something happen? Ziggy?
It's nothing you need to worry about. I'm sorry.
Was that really the commander? Tell me, Chaos. Surely we didn't.
Shion. The truth isn't always a pleasant thing to know.
Chaos. Are we
Troll.
going to end up like him?
We're still here, and none of us have turned into Gnosis.
I
Perhaps
don't
we can
think
take
that would be the
solace in
case.
that. Here, stand up.
Okay.
The connection between the phenomenon boundaries is dissipating. If this continues, this spatial location will disappear.
Yeah, I think Cherenkov's
We are in
words
danger.
This isn't
really
good.
spooked her there.
Look! Over there!
Hey! Miss Vector! You still alive? Chief! Are you alright?
Captain! Alan!
Oh, okay. Escape.
They're coming after us! Full speed ahead! Shake them off! Aye, sir. Man! There's a ton of them! What the?
Oh, there's Junior.
Dr. Randall?
You got it!
Registration confirmed, little master. It's the Elsa.
Jeez, those guys were damn lucky we were passing by. What the hell are they doing here? Well, whatever.
All guns, target the Gnosis! Cut open an escape path for the Elsa and annihilate the enemy!
Sounds like the fighting started.
Are we gonna be okay? There were so many of them when we transferred in.
They destroyed an entire Federation fleet. It would be wiser for us to flee than fight.
This is no good. We'll never get all of them. What should we do?
We should have resupplied earlier. This is what I get for taking on the U-Tick. Otherwise, this would be a cinch.
Little Master, enemy group formation approaching from 5 o'clock. We're being surrounded on all sides.
So they're not gonna let us go, huh? And they've coordinated their attack patterns. I've never seen them fight like this before. Even if we gate jump out of here, we may not be able to shake them.
Little Master, another group is chasing after the Elsa! Captain!
Hey, you alright? Tony, can you lose them?
I doubt it. They're a lot faster than we are.
Damn it. The Durandal's guns aren't slowing them down. What are we gonna do?
Huh? Hatch number 17 is open? Was somebody still down there?
It's Cosmos. What is she?
I'll put it on the monitor.
Cosmos!
Cosmos! Cosmos! What are you doing? Get back here! There's too many of them for you to destroy! You're not equipped to handle that great a number!
Xion. Will feeling pain make me complete?
What? I can't hear you!
The air is too thin for her voice to carry.
Attract inhibitor output at 300%. Zohar emulator waves can no longer be suppressed.
What the hell? Now they're acting up?
Intruder alerting the Pieta mother frame. Permutational phenomena appearing in the variant.
In Mama? Where's it coming from?
Scanning transfection course. Course tracked. It's coming from the quarantine hangar.
Quarantine hangar? It can't be the Zohars.
It is. External sources are sending requests to the Zohars.
Paradigm contamination is spreading. If this keeps up, the mother frame will be taken over.
Cut off the main line to the quarantine hangar. Stabilize the attract inhibitor through a secondary line.
Main line purged. All signals blocked.
And the immediate change from blue to red there. Back again.
Heck, that wasn't so bad.
Chief?
Did that really just happen?
Yeah. It appeared as if she absorbed the Gnosis.
How could she have weaponry we don't even know about? No, that wasn't a weapon. That was...
Something impossible.
Who cares if it's possible or not? She got rid of the Gnosis, right?
Captain. Little Master's been buzzing us for a while.
Huh? Oh, patch him in.
Who's this Little Master?
Thanks for helping us out, little master. Sorry about
This isn't the cosmos that I built. Kevin, is this your hand at work? Is this the real cosmos that you wish to create?
Commander.
What is it?
Commander Cherenkov's SMS tracking signal has disappeared.
And the UMN?
Huh. I was able to track him while he traveled through hyperspace, but I lost him at point 2100783. There are traces of a space-time anomaly at that same point, so we believe the Gnosis may have been there.
I see.
So, you got it?
Roger, little master.
Thanks for helping us out.
You guys better fill me in on the situation later. Man, what the heck is going on here?
Why is that one smidge
And Mama's
pre-rendered?
gone and caught a bug, so we can't perform any
Just to buy a little time
investigations
to
or
load the real
analysis for a
scene?
while.
That's terrible.
Less black screen between
Tell me about
scenes, maybe, if I had to guess.
Hey, is that Little Master?
Maybe something with the
He's
elevator.
our boss, the head honcho. Hey, Little Master. We picked up a couple of passengers headed for Milsha while we were working. What should we do with them?
Is he the one he
They
owes
look
money
like
to?
they're pretty deep with something. Well, your first concern should be to repair the Elsa. Why don't you get it fixed over at the Foundation? You won't make it very far in that kind of shape.
Foundation?
Pre-rendered again.
You mean the Kukai Foundation? From the Galactic Finance 500's top 10 fastest growing corporations list? Then you must be...
Ah, the business stuff was meant to be a side thing. We got lucky, that's all.
This is bad, Chief. We can't associate with these people.
Hey, I heard that, man. Would you rather we left you here in space?
No, sorry, sir.
Look, Little Master, what do you say we just leave this wuss behind? He spends all his time moaning and groaning.
Hey, come on, Captain. Chaos, help me out here.
Well, it's not really up to me, you know. I better leave this one to you two.
Then I'm definitely giving him the boot.
Come on!
Hey, man, don't freak out. We're just playing. What's wrong? Something worrying you?
Huh? Oh, no. It's nothing. I'm Shion Uzuki. Nice to, meet you.
Junior. Guinan Jr. I got a real name, but let's just leave it at that for now. Good to meet you. Shelly, change of plans. We're returning to the Foundation. Make sure to tell Guinan that we have secured the final emulator.
It's because of upscaling and
Preparing
custom
to
HD
return to the
textures.
Foundation.
I render it at 248 by 1792. So it's gonna look a whole lot cleaner if it's in-engine, but pre-rendered. You very much notice when it's pre-rendered. If I ran this in native graphics, you might not be able to notice when things are pre-rendered because they look the same. It's Silex. Okay, well, this is another save point. 2048. Did I say 248? I might have said that. Like, I didn't remember what I had it set to. I was just reading off of my display capture here. Is what I have it set to. So, yeah. So, there's that. Yep. So this is Junior here. For every special, he wields a gun. So he's our final party member, which is confirmed in the manual here as well. So I know that he do be and he just kind of shoots things a whole bunch. So, yeah, that's what's going on with the cutscenes there. So, do they have, like, all the Zohar emulators on the Durandal there? Since he was like, oh, this is the final Zohar emulator. They just been collecting them like Infinity Stones here or something? We're gonna go into a room and it's gonna be full of Zohars. But does he have the real one? I would assume probably not here. Look, been over an hour since the last save because there's like 40-minute boss battle and like 20 plus minutes of cutscenes. But yeah, I thought the manual mentioned an anonymous member after Junior, or did I misremember that? No, Junior should be the last one here. Unless there's like a secret one that's a surprise. Where is the character list? I think it's towards the end. Oh yeah, a fun thing about the manual is it lists the different game modes, like battle mode and quest mode. When you're out in the overworld, it counts that as quest mode, which I think is kind of funny. And it says things like, when you're playing in quest mode, you can save at these points here. Where are the, here we go. Look, here's our cast of characters. Wah. Shion Uzuki. Boop. Cosmos. We have Ziggy here. And then just lists like all the party members and their main combos that you can do. We have Momo. We have Chaos here. Wah. And then like final page here is Junior with his guns. Looks about 12 years old. So, yeah. Imagine if the secret file member is Captain Cherenko or Commander Cherenko. Like, you gotta finish the game 25 times to unlock him. Yeah, it's one of those games. But yeah. No, the emulators. I mentioned earlier in the stream how there was emulated Zohars, and the one from the beginning of the game isn't the real Zohar, it's an emulator. So there's other emulators around, and not necessarily the real deal. And the real deal one might be silver. It seems to be gold sometimes, and other times silver here. So, yeah. Still a chance they're hiding one. It is the 2000s. This is true. It is the early 2000s here. They could be hiding one. After all, they did then Path of Radiance with crazy requirements. You should see the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games. Like Fire Emblem 6. To unlock the final character in the... What were they called? It wasn't Tempest Trials, was it? Whatever the heck that optional missions that you could do from the main menu was that I did in Binding Blade. To unlock all the characters in there with the final secret character of Gwendolyn, I believe, you had to beat the game like 8 times. You have to beat Binding Blade like 8 times. For trial maps, that's what they're called. To unlock all the characters in that. It's insanity. To unlock the main antagonist / final boss of Path of Radiance, you had to finish the game like 25 times. Okay, so they made it even crazier after the Game Boy Advance games. Unbelievable there. So the thing that really stood out to me about those scenes is, or that set of cutscenes, was definitely the beach. So again, as a reminder, in Xenoblade Chronicles X, Lao gets all caught up with all the Lifehold goop, turns into this big monster, and we have to kill him because he's turned into this big monster. And then he wakes up on the beach. And that was where the main game, Xenoblade Chronicles X, left off. And we know that since Xenosaga came first, that they took a lot of ideas from Xenosaga and implemented it into Xenoblade, and now this stuff is coming together and is probably gonna all be like a canon interconnected universe, I have no doubt. 15 times, not 25. Still insanity. And since we know that they were taking ideas from this, we saw Commander Cherenkov there get hit with all these Gnosis ghosts, or maybe they weren't even Gnosis, maybe it was something else, because Cosmos was like, oh, it's not photons, it's not any of these other things that I didn't recognize the words for. The one word that I knew there was photons. And so then Shion was like, well, what is it then? And we didn't really get an answer. Like, it seemed like it was something Gnosis-based. And he turned into a big monster, and so we killed him. And then he woke up on the beach. So, in these completely different games that are, like, well over a decade apart, we have a character that was taken over by some sort of entity, turned into a big monster, killed, and then wakes up on the beach. This has happened in 2 of these Xeno games now. Maybe it'll be more if this happens in more of the Xenosaga games. And I'm sure that those who probably played Xenosaga initially and then played X might have thought, like, oh, maybe that's connected, maybe it's not, I don't know, because we just got, like, a top-down view of the beach with, freaking Xenoblade X original release. But in Definitive Edition, which just released earlier this year, and I did a playthrough of earlier this year, we got to see what actually happened there with Al when he did like his whole multi-dimensional hopping thing with Prague Ares, and he managed to find Lao in that dimension. And I think the game said something about it being a dimension where, like, that was like, what was it? Like, essentially like a station between other dimensions, like a train station almost, where it's like, hey, this isn't like one specific kind of dimension, it's more like a place between dimensions, and so you can go there after you die. And Lao was like, yep, I'm gonna chill here. I'm good here. I'm content with death. And he was just all right on the beach. I swear, the beach here looked just like that beach. And again, the exact same conditions that led up to someone being sent to that beach. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of times. And I've been playing FE9 recently, and the gameplay is rather slow too, so finishing 15 times is quite the requirement. But to be fair, Ashinar is a monstrosity of a unit too, so you get something OP in return, you still shouldn't have to beat it 15 times. I was thinking about doing Path of Radiance later this year, but I don't think I'll have the time. Now that especially now that I'm doing things like Xenosaga, which I definitely don't regret starting now. Also, I want to see here really quickly. If I go to YouTube, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive, all cutscenes, I can pull it up on my own playthrough, but Game Movie HD. This is just for the main game. All cutscenes epilogue. I just want to see this here really quickly. No, not explained. Epilogue, what it means for the future. No, full ending. Oh, gosh dang, I gotta look up my own playthrough just because there isn't a full cutscene movie, including the epilogue on YouTube. Playlists. Xenoblade X. Let's see here. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. And then I gotta scroll way down to the later parts of my playthrough here. So the part where Lao was on the beach was here. It was part 92 of my Xenoblade X series. Yeah, so during this part here, yeah, we have some stuff with Al, and he's like, yep, I saw Lao on the beach. I was in this place that was like this super crazy multi-dimensional place. Made a little layover in Eerie kind of place. And yeah, this is kind of how Xenoblade X original ended, but now we see how it continues. So yeah, it's the beach, except obviously in like a lot more detail and stuff here. But that very much looks like the same kind of beach that we just saw. Seeming like a weird kind of afterlife between dimensions here. And even the fact that there's like some hilly area right behind here. Like, there's no way that's a coincidence. Coincidence. I don't know if that's going to be followed by a I think not. Or if it's just coincidence. No, there it is. I think not. Redeemed and highlight my message. That would have been really funny to just leave it at coincidence. Don't worry about it. It's a coincidence. So yeah, with the original Xenoblade Chronicles X that didn't have this, that released in 2015, it's possible they might not have had the exact idea to do this yet. Like, we know for sure that they gained the rights to be doing Xenosaga related stuff as of at least Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which would have probably been in production about the same time as X, or at least very shortly after. Since, like, Cosmos and the Conduit and Telos and stuff like that were in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So as of that game at least, they had the rights to use Xenosaga related stuff in Xenoblade from that point on. Whereas before that point, don't know whether or not they had the rights to it yet. So who knows if this was their plan for the beach from the beginning? Because again, in the original game, we only got that top-down view. All we got was like this shot here, essentially. This is all there was in the original Xenoblade X from 2015. And then it ended like here with Lao opening his eyes. And that was as far as we got in 2015 with the original game release. But now, as of this game that released earlier this year, 2025, we now get to see the background that, who knows, maybe that wasn't there in the original 2015 version. We never have a camera showing. I'm sure somebody could probably data mine and tell for sure if that's the case. But now that we see this background and see that definitely draws some parallels to where Cherenkov was, I have a feeling it's not a coincidence. No, I don't know that they necessarily would have. They didn't say that they were dying. They were, like, becoming a part of the world or whatever the heck. So I don't think that they would necessarily be there. I think if they would, then they would have showed up in, like, the whole multi-dimensional thing that X had going on here. I could look at that long play that I had pulled up there before. I still have a tab with it here that I think was part 1. I think I gotta click on part 2 now. That's what I gotta do. Let's see here. This should be part 2. We should be into part 2 of this long play now. We have all these crazy cutscenes. Here's the battle against the dude. And then, here, check it out. Spoilers free, or are we still hiding spoilers? Still hiding, like, main spoilers. I'm kind of just having fun figuring out, like, what's going on here? Because I'm sure I'll figure it out as I continue to play. Will be the case anyway. Hold on. I just want to see the proper beach here. Just want to have some fun being like, oh yeah, that's familiar, isn't it? Like, look at that. Hold on. Do we have a shot of, whoops, I don't need to adjust the volume there. Of it turning the other way? Like, it's turned the other way because that's where he parked the Prague Aries. Look at that. There's hills with trees when they're facing that way. When the camera's facing back that way, there's a hill with trees. It's the beach. So yeah, these games might be, these games may be different IPs. But yeah, they're clearly related and important and stuff here. Is definitely the case. So, this just further emphasizes my belief that I think Xenoblade is done. I think that X Definitive is probably going to be the last Xenoblade game, and next they're going to do Xeno something. Xenoverse, who knows, as they tie together their old projects, minus Xenogears, because Square probably wouldn't give them the rights for Xenogears. But with Xenosaga, at least, they can tie in. It'll be interesting to see what's going on with that. And it is really cool that this game released in 2002 that is under, you know, a different rights holder owned by Bandai Namco here. Now, with Monolith Soft under Nintendo, they're like, yeah, you can go ahead and factor in the Xenosaga things. You can make it part of your overarching kind of big thing. Like, Xeno World, Xeno Combat. That's what it's gonna be there. Yeah, that's the beach. Just like Mr. Bean's holiday, we go to the beach. Makes you wonder if the beach is gonna show up later in Xenosaga here. But yeah, with the whole hilly background there, and the trees over on this side when the camera faces that way. This is the beach, is what that is. I have no doubt now that they are for sure trying to factor Xenosaga stuff in, and that this released just earlier this year, that's the beach. Like, do we have another shot looking out at the water there? Thought there was one where it showed, like, Lau's back. I guess there's this. Where it's like, yep, I'm pretty sure that's the beach. The Xeno Beach. That's what the next game's gonna be. I can't wait. It's gonna bring together every character across the Xenoverse minus Xenogears for the beach episode. For the ultimate beach episode of all of Monolith Soft's anime characters minus Xenogears. Yeah, I'm sure that, like, it would be the same in what it represents, but considering X established, like, X Definitive Edition at least established that there are multiple universes, like, Al there was saying, oh yeah, there's multiple universes that I peered into, as it showed snippets of cutscenes from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3. It's like, okay, they're clearly doing something here. And then, one of the things, like I mentioned this before, but one of the interesting things that was included in the Xenoblade 3 DLC is we have this flashback scene where we get to see the world the way that it was before it all, like, went to shit and was remade. And there was a radio playing in the background that wasn't, like, the main thing to focus on. There was a conversation going on between the main characters. But if you pay attention to the dialogue in the radio, it talks about things like Project Exodus, which was the project from Xenoblade Chronicles X, which existed to evacuate Earth before it was destroyed. Whereas in Xenoblade 3, they were like, oh yeah, Project Exodus is going on, and they were going to go check out some other planets. And it's like, what? But Project Exodus was made because the planet was being destroyed. That's not going on in the... Well, it went on without other people knowing about it in the Xenoblade 1 and 2 world. So, what's going on? Why is Project Exodus here? And apparently one of the main characters to the Xenosaga story that we haven't met yet, I'm surprised we haven't met yet, because he's apparently super important. His name is Dmitry Yuriev, and in the Xenoblade 3 DLC, on that same radio call, they were like, oh yeah, there have been these findings by Dmitry Yuriev that's doing all this experiments with something or other. And in the subtitles of the radio, Dmitry Yuriev is spelled very slightly differently than it is in Xenosaga. And I was like, what the hell are they doing? Are they trying to, like, all make it one universe? But then as of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive, and I'm showing, like, the multiple different universes that are all connected and stuff, I realized, oh, okay, I see what the 3 DLC radio call was saying now. It's saying that there are parallels between these universes. The main Xenoblade Project Exodus is different from the Xenoblade Chronicles X Project Exodus, but both these universes had a Project Exodus. The Xenoblade series is different from the Xenosaga universe here, but both of them had a Dmitry Yuriev, but they had different roles. Dmitry Yuriev did all these things in Xenosaga, and he had a slightly different spelled name, whereas he didn't do all these big things in Xenoblade and had a differently spelled name. So, it seems like it's trying to make the argument that they are separate universes, but they do share clear connections with one another. Why don't we talk about Xenogears? Because Square owns the rights to that, and while Bandai Namco and Nintendo are buddy-buddy and are okay with, like, this whole factoring Xenosaga into the overall narrative, it doesn't seem like they have the rights to use stuff from Xenogears. So there'll probably be a lot of interesting just ideas that cross over from Xenogears. Like, I've heard that apparently a lot of stuff in Xenoblade Chronicles X draws parallels to Xenogears. But I don't think that it would ever be canonical part of the multiverse kind of thing of Xeno stuff. Because I don't think Square would be like, oh yeah, this IP that we own? Yeah. Just known as Square at the time. But, so Monolith Soft made Xenogears under Square on the PlayStation 1. Then they made Xenosaga 1 to 3 on the PlayStation 2 under Bandai Namco. And now they made Xenoblade under Nintendo. Any other Xenos we should know about? No, just those 3 there. So Nintendo and Bandai Namco are buddy-buddy, and I guess Bandai Namco has been like, yep, you can go ahead and use Xenosaga stuff in Xenoblade. And clearly they have. Like, Cosmos here is a playable blade in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So is Telos. And then the whole appearance of the Conduit in 2, and it serving a key part in Xenoblade lore from then onwards. So it's not just references to Xenosaga, like, they are literally pulling things from the actual Xenosaga IP into Xenoblade ever since 2 onward. So clearly Bandai Namco is okay with that. But I don't know if Square would be okay with that. I don't know if it's something that they would have discussed with Square Enix before, but I don't think that Square Enix and Nintendo would be as buddy-buddy as Bandai Namco and Nintendo. So that'd be really cool if they were like, yep, you can go ahead and use the material from this IP that we own. Sure, go ahead. It was made by the same developers. Go ahead and factor it into your multiverse. But I don't think they'd be that cool. And honestly, like, props to Bandai Namco for being cool like that and being like, yep, you can go ahead and factor in Xenosaga. Like, props to them, because there's so many companies that would be like, no, we own this IP. You're not touching it. That's not happening. Go do your own complete separate thing. So, you know, cool on you, Bandai Namco. That's pretty cool. And makes me genuinely curious what the future of Xeno is going to look like, because they're clearly bringing Xenoblade and Xenosaga together. But as for Xenogears, yeah, they'll touch on some ideas, and I would like to play Xenogears one day out of curiosity, but I don't think it's ever going to be canon to the whole Xeno multiverse, because, you know, it's owned by a whole completely different company. Praising Namco and that year of pack, there is no Xenogears in Ba Sing Se. That's right. That's what's going on here. So yeah, it sounds like if you want to understand Xeno, like the whole overarching multiverse and stuff, you gotta know Xenoblade, you gotta know Xenosaga. Xenogears, you can know it if you want for fun, but I don't think that it's ever gonna be important per se. So, yeah, Tales of Arise is not gonna be connected, I don't think, here. But yeah, so definitely some inspiration taken from Xenogears, at least from what I've heard. Apparently X takes a lot of inspiration from it, but never anything that's actually directly using material from that game, like 2 did with Cosmos. Since, like, let's see here, if I pull up the thingamabob. Like, the whole presence of the Conduit in Xenoblade 2 and making it important to Xenoblade lore from there, and it literally just being like the Zohar from Xenosaga. If we're returning back to Xenoblade Chronicles X, the ghosts in that game, at least as of Definitive Edition, they essentially made into the Gnosis. So if you play Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition and play, like, the new epilogue stuff, you'll see that the ghosts in that game, essentially act like the Gnosis, where they go after the Conduit, which is the Zohar equivalent, which in that universe is essentially the Prague Ares, so they go after the Prague Ares. And when they go after people, they turn them to salt, just like the Gnosis do. So they have literally put the Gnosis without the name the Gnosis into Xenoblade X Definitive. Again, the version of the game that just released earlier this year, not the original X from 2015. Who knows if that was their original plan for the ghosts in the original release. We'll never know, because we never got to see the full finished version with everything they planned with the ghosts. But in what they decide to make the ghosts as of the release earlier this year, the ghosts are the Gnosis. They go after the Conduit, they turn people to salt, they're like the protectors of the universe, or something like that. Hold on, I want to look up here. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Cosmos Awakening, I guess. So yeah, they literally put Cosmos directly into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So even if you want to say that's just like parallels for the Conduit and the Zohar, like they literally have Xenosaga content in Xenoblade games already. And now I recognize this stuff, like the whole vector and the pod, and now having played Xenosaga, this animation's a whole lot cooler to me, and drawing the parallels to what I saw in Xenosaga. That is a cool Blade Awakening. And this is what she looked like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in 2017. So, Xenosaga may be a long finished series for a while now, but it clearly is not forgotten by Monolith Soft, and is clearly getting new stuff here and there in Xenoblade games. So yeah, this was Cosmos in, oh, and I'm realizing, gosh dang it! I was trying to pause the video, damn it. I never would have recognized this before, since I hadn't played Xenosaga at the time. Her dual guns in Xenoblade 2 are Zohar-shaped. Interesting. Yeah, let's not click on that again. Yep, these are Zohar-shaped dual guns. That's kind of cool. So yeah, they literally have Xenosaga content in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, just directly. Like, I'm pretty sure this isn't canon. This is just like, for fun, here's an additional character you can unlock. Like, a lot of the blades that you can get in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 aren't canon. Like, all the bad guy blades, all the Torna blades there aren't canon, but are just, like, fun inclusions. Nope, this was actually main game. And then they did later put in Telos as well, which is another character from Xenosaga, which we saw the name of briefly. That one was DLC, but she was free DLC. So they put in one Xenosaga character in the base game, and she was like, Cosmos was like one of the strongest blades in Xenoblade 2. She was a light affinity type, and there's a lot of memes around of, you know, her being like the best blade in the game. Well, people noticed, it's just people... How many people have played Xenosaga? So a lot of people heard like, oh, this is the main character from Xenosaga. But nobody wanted to go out and like play Xenosaga. I wouldn't have known when I first played. I didn't know what the hell Xenosaga was. But yeah, later they added Telos as well. So that one was DLC, but for free. So you didn't have to pay for this. This was just included for free later. So not included with the base game, but for free. So for free is like 2 Xenosaga characters. So eventually later in the series we'll see Telos here. I can just skip this part here. So this is the other Xenosaga character that's in Xenoblade 2, which is another, like, battle android, I guess. Honestly, after seeing you play Xenosaga, I don't blame others for not playing it. Well, others should at least check out cutscene movies, because they are kind of cool. I do quite like the cutscenes of this game. There's all those mechs from Xenoblade 2 attacking her and clearly showing her power there. So at some point in Xenosaga, we'll see this character as well. So this is another just directly Xenosaga character in Xenoblade 2. If memory serves gameplay-wise, I don't think she's as good as Cosmos, but I think that she is another, like, really, really strong blade in Xenoblade 2. Like, I played a lot of Xenoblade 2 before a lot of updates came out. So Telos came out after I was done with, like, most of my Xenoblade 2 stuff when I first played. Is she gonna use a Reaper in Xenosaga when we eventually see her? An absurdly oversized Reaper, maybe? That'd be kind of cool. So yeah, and this is another just Xenosaga character. Again, we'll see her at some point, don't know when, but we saw this name during Junior section when we were on that UTIC ship. There was like those boards with like designs and it said Telos on them. So it's like, wait, Telos? I recognize that name from Xenoblade 2. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping an eagle eye out for when Telos is around. Maybe it'll just be as of Xenosaga 3, I don't know. But no matter what, they clearly had plans with her from the beginning, and she's going to be an important character to Xenosaga, just not yet. But yeah, you're right, these gals fit in perfectly with Xenoblade 2. Yeah, who would suspect a thing? They literally just look like kind of normal Xenoblade 2 blades, but nope, this is a Xenosaga character. But yeah, I love that this was basically a freemium gacha mechanic, almost there. Cosmos is also in the Project X Zone games on the 3DS. Oh yeah, I think I heard something about that there. Published by Bandai Namco, but developed by Monolith Soft. I don't think I've ever looked that up, though. Hold on, let's see here. Let me look up really quickly here. Project X Zone? Project X Zone. Now I'm getting recommendations on my YouTube homepage of like all blades in Xenoblade 2. Project X Zone Cosmos. Oh, is Telos in that too? Bandai Namco Europe. Oh, so this is a trailer, I guess, right? Let's check it out.
Peggy 12.
Oh god, what is going on with my audio? Is that intended, or is that my headphones bugging out? That's my headphones bugging out. What the hell? Something else. Headphones. Only viewed on the Nintendo 3DS screen. Now I've got audio working fine. Okay. What? God. Is that what happened with Telos as well? I was looking away during the first one. God. Now you have to play Xenosaga. After that, Telos and Cosmos from the Xenosaga will have to forget their rivalry and team up to fight for their world. Their gynoid attacks and their devastating phase transfer cannon will destabilize even the fiercest enemies. Project X Zone is out July 5th, 2013 on Nintendo 3DS. Peggy 12. Did it actually say that? Oh yeah, I did it right at the beginning. Again, well, I say again as if I've mentioned this before, but to reiterate something that the game has said many times, these characters are androids. They are robots. But the design of these games seems to not care. Wait, so did I do that with Telos, though, as well? What's going on here? Almost. Freaking, that's still pretty hilarious, though. I might misremember this, but I think Chrom and Lucina were also in this game. You might be thinking about Project Steam, or whatever the heck it was called. Codename Steam, something or other. You might be thinking of that, because there was a few Fire Emblem characters in that one. Potentially. But yeah, the design developers were very horny. It definitely seems like. So yeah, despite the fact that Xenosaga has been done since like 2006, I guess, with Xenosaga 3, these characters have continued to appear in a few things. What with, I guess, Project X Zone here that I didn't even quite realize was the case, and obviously Xenoblade 2 here, where they were characters that you could unlock and use in your party, and were apparently like some of the best characters in the game, Cosmos especially. Like, once a lot of DLC came in and power creep, there were definitely better blades, like, who's that blonde-haired Dark Element kid that I'm forgetting the name of? He was, like, one of the most OP ones. Shulk was stupid OP, same with Elma, when they added her. But I think Cosmos is probably one of, if not the best main game blade, if we're not counting, like, Pyra and Mithra. Like, Cosmos was strong in that game. Telos has a use for it, she basically uses them as gun blasters, apparently. The game didn't have any FE characters. It did have Valkyria Chronicles 3 characters, which I am surprised. So yeah, probably thinking of a codename Steam or whatever the heck it was called there. Yeah, and on Nintendo consoles, and yeah. So stuff with Xenosaga is still going on. These games are still bits and pieces relevant today. And then I'll bet you the next Xeno game that gets announced, if they reveal Cosmos in it, which as I've mentioned before, with the whole endings of Xenoblade 3 and Xenosaga 3 paralleling each other, I feel like they probably are going to have Cosmos as, like, an official canon character in the next Xeno game. Unlike this, where this isn't canon, but it's just, like, for fun, as far as I'm aware. I have no doubt that when the day comes that probably happens, everyone is going to start Googling, like, Cosmos, what's her backstory? What's going on here? What do I need to know about Xenosaga? Where can I play Xenosaga? So, I'm trying to get on top of this shit before that happens. Yeah, I'm sure that Cosmos will probably be in the game. Like, considering this is part of my Xenosaga series now, I don't want to show the post-credit scene of Xenosaga directly. But from what I've seen on YouTube there, the whole post-credit scene of a planet in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and a planet in Xenosaga 3 and a figure approaching the planet in both games, with both the games having the exact same ending credits theme, it's like, okay, they're implying something with Xenosaga here. They're clearly doing something. It seems like it's very much implying that Cosmos is gonna be important. Yeah, maybe they do a remaster collection. Like, Nintendo and Bamco are the best of friends. Maybe they do something like that. But if they ever did do a remaster, would Monolith Soft be content with the 3 games, or would they be like, ooh, can we convince these publishers to give us the leeway to make the 6 games we initially wanted to make? And would it be popular enough to sell that at that point as well, is another question. I mean, how popular Xenoblade is nowadays, maybe it would be, but I mean, 6 games of one story is a lot. Like, at least with the Xenoblade games, you can enjoy them standalone and there's an overarching story, but like, you can enjoy them as standalone narratives. Whereas with Xenosaga, I presume it's, this party through on one long adventure. It's the next game, Xenosaga Trilogy DE. Yeah, and I'll have wasted my time playing well, probably not wasted my time. It's still intriguing to see, like, the original here and the original gameplay and how hard they went on cutscenes in the original game. So it wouldn't be a waste of time. But I think if there was a remaster of all 3, I'd probably just play the ones that I haven't played yet. I don't think I'd play this twice. I don't think I'd replay this with an official HD remaster. Yeah, I mean, and also if there was a Xenosaga, like, Trilogy DE, how do you think it would work with publishing? Would Nintendo publish it? Would Bandai Namco publish it? Because Bandai Namco are the ones that officially own the Xenosaga IP. They're the ones that publish these. Maybe it would be like a joint publishing thing, since Nintendo has Xenoblade and Bandai Namco has Xenosaga, but clearly they're doing something here. When a Nintendo and a Bamco love each other very much, we get probably whatever the next Xeno thing is. Watch Nintendo charge all 3 games and 1 for 3 game prices, which would be like, what, over $200? You want to see how freaking expensive Mario Galaxy is here? Mario, well, if I just go to like the Nintendo store, I guess. Oh no, it came up in the first result. Look at this shit. Do you believe this? And it loads. It doesn't even want to load it. Oh, there it is. $100! Releasing in a couple weeks here, less than a couple weeks, on October 2nd. If you want to buy Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2, which are nearly 20-year-old games, that's gonna cost you $100, champ. Oh man, I'm kind of looking forward to Ghosts of Yote here. Sucker Punch has gotten in a little bit of hot water after they apparently fired one of their head artists of 10 years after she made some comments about Charlie Kirk on social media. So now they're in a little bit of controversy about that. But that's still a game that I'm looking forward to there. And the price for Ghosts of Yote here is like $90, I believe. So like a brand new, like, big studio AAA game is cheaper than Nintendo's nearly 20-year-old games that they're just re-releasing on modern hardware, because that's Nintendo. So, yep. Yeah, there's that. Do you know the Sonic Racing games got more and better reviews than Mario Kart World? Yep. So I've heard here. So I've heard. So, if they ever did a Xenosaga thing, which I don't think that they would. I could see it potentially happening just to capitalize off the success of Xenoblade and how more eyes would be on a Xenosaga re-release now. But as is, it's not something that I would like place bets on happening. I would place bets on, the next Xeno game happening that factors in a lot more stuff from Xenosaga. But I don't think I would place bets on like a Xenosaga remaster happening unless they're like, hey, let's release this to capitalize off of the popularity of the next Xeno thing. Like, I'm sure that the reason for this re-release has to do in part as well with, like, the Mario Galaxy movie coming out. And so they want to release a whole bunch of Mario Galaxy branded stuff at the same time. So I could see them potentially doing, like, a Xenosaga, like, re-release remaster thing just to capitalize off of the success of whatever the next Xeno thing is. Because you want to release that all around the same-ish window. Like, strike while the iron's hot, while the train's rolling there. So if they ever did, it'd be around the same time as the next Xeno game. But if they don't want to do it like while the iron's hot and people are like, huh, I'm suddenly interested in playing Xenosaga, then I would have a hard time seeing them doing it. Like, I can see it being a very slight possibility in that scenario, but outside of that, I don't really see it happening. And if it did happen, would it be joint published by Nintendo and Bamco? And would both of them want a piece of the pie for prices? And so will we see something even more absurd than this? Or what would we be seeing? Be for reals, alrighty. Yeah, let's see here. Wow, a Xenosaga remake would benefit a lot considering how some elements of the game are dated. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah. I think there's a lot of things with this game that have actually aged decently well. Like, the cutscenes, for the most part. Like, I think some of the expressions look a little bit jarring. Like, Cherenkov being in that not helicopter, that flight ship thing going up into the sky and his stunned, like, stuff like that just looks so goofy. But for the most part, the graphics of this and the cutscenes actually held up really well, and for a PlayStation 2 game, they actually went, like, really ham on the cutscenes. And there's, like, the full voice acting. Like, it's entertaining to watch. I actually really quite like the cutscenes of this game. And the gameplay is generally pretty cool. I think that they were cooking something interesting here with, like, the AP, close range attacks, the stuff that you're doing with Ether, the different positioning around the battlefield. Like, there was some cool stuff that they were cooking there. But I think that just the general gameplay loop of sit through, like, 2 hours and then spend, like, 2 hours going through the most generic dungeon you've ever seen with no puzzles to solve whatsoever and just facing random encounters over and over and over again and hearing the exact same battle theme over and over and over again and having, like, basically no soundtrack in the world, it gets kind of repetitive and annoying. And the boss battles, like, I think that they're generally cool, but after you're in them for like 40 minutes and it's just a battle of attrition, it just stops being fun. Like, for another old RPG, I've used it as an example before. I was playing Final Fantasy VII earlier this year, and I actually had a lot of fun playing Final Fantasy VII. Like, some of the areas were a little bit convoluted for figuring out where to get just because of, like, the image backgrounds. But I generally had fun playing it there. The random encounter battles didn't feel like a slog and major threat to my health like the random encounters of this do. And the boss battles were, like, challenging, but not some super crazy battle of attrition. They were actually engaging and fun, and I liked the gameplay of that game. Like, if I wanted to play a late 90s to early 2000s RPG and I had the choice between one of the Xenosaga games or Final Fantasy VII, I would choose Final Fantasy VII. I actually had a lot of fun playing that. This is just a bit of a slog. So, some parts of it have definitely aged well. I think the cutscenes have aged really well. But the gameplay, maybe not so much. So I think for anyone interested in Xenosaga, I would just recommend watching a cutscene movie, maybe not playing the actual game. But that's how I feel. I can see them doing a Xenosaga Trilogy DE on the Switch because FromSoft has the new Souls game coming on the Switch, even though they mainly work with Bandai Namco. I mean, FromSoft has worked, like, around a lot of different places. Like, they had, like, Demon Souls and Bloodborne with Sony as another place that they've been around, for example. Like, From Software definitely gets around here. But, yeah, I don't know here. Although I own a copy, I was hoping for Nintendo to reprint Mario 3D All-Stars for those who missed out. But in the company's current mentality, even that lazy package would be taking away too much profits from this newer release and from Nintendo Switch Online. Yep. Yeah, now that you can play Mario 64 with the Switch Online and Sunshine probably soon. I don't know if you can already. I assume that you probably can. That or, like, pretty soon here. And then, yeah. So Monolith Soft can easily do it as well. What, like, jump over to Bandai Namco and be like, hey, we're just gonna do a Xenosaga definitive trilogy under Bandai Namco, independent of Nintendo. We're not gonna ask our parents, Nintendo, for permission here. Which, I guess they probably could. Did Nintendo officially pull them in as, like, an official Nintendo company, though? I think they did ever since they started getting them developing a lot of other Nintendo games like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, didn't they? I think that they officially brought them in as, like, an official Nintendo studio, not just a studio on the side that they're publishing for. So they might not be able to do that. I don't know. I'd have to look into what the hell's going on with Monolith Soft, but I'm pretty sure that they're pretty connected with Nintendo now that they're officially a part of it. I don't remember, though, so don't quote me on that. There's a lot that has aged rather well, like the cutscenes and graphics as well as the story overall. Yeah, I definitely think so. Though, again, this isn't, like, the original native graphics. Again, I do have this upscaled and with a texture pack. But, you know, the models are still going to be looking the same here. you know, you can tell even from the pre-rendered cutscenes where you would be seeing original graphics. Sure, there's, you know, the blur of the original graphics there. It's not exactly high resolution HD, but they still look nice. It doesn't look ugly by any means. Like, it looks pretty good. But yeah, the gameplay could definitely be better, especially the cutscene to gameplay balance and the loop. Yeah, I think that the cutscene gameplay balance and loop here has got to be like one of the worst I've seen in a video game. It's not great. Like, I'm invested in the story. I want to see what happens. I am not a fan of the gameplay loop of this game. Like, I was hoping that I'd play this and be like a mega fan. Like, I loved Xenoblade. I thought I'd get into this, be like, wow, this is awesome. Why didn't I get into this earlier? I don't like the experience of this game. I'm enjoying the story. I don't think I like the experience of the game. But yeah, let's just see here. I think I'll play a little bit longer. I've been rambling here a little while. But we've had a lot of things to talk about. I'll probably hit back now. I almost said B. And see what happens with more cutscenes. I didn't want to be talking over cutscenes. And there was the decent bit to ramble about here. Let's see. Is the next part, when I cut this up into parts, going to be cutscenes alone? Is it going to be another 25 minutes? Let's find out. Ah, sniffles.